Hello, my name is Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builder Supply, and this video is to bring you a closer look at the Zero number 568A. This is what they call a rabbeted threshold. You can see why they call it that. That sort of rabbet profile to this threshold. Bump up threshold, bump up style threshold, I would be very prone to call it as well. This would be very effective for, well, an exterior outswinging door. This would work really well for. Okay, door makes positive contact with the inserted seal that's here. That's a extruded bulb finger piece of neoprene, which is smoke and draft control related as well. Okay, that double sort of seal, this finger they call it here, as you can see, that helps compensate for any sort of lateral misalignment in the jamb. So if the door doesn't have a constant margin between the face of the seal when it's closed up against the bump up, between the hinge side and all the way over to the lock side, that finger that projects out a little bit further will make that contact required so that there's really not a void. Without the finger, if you had any sort of, without the finger and you had only the bulb, any sort of misalignment like the jamb leg being towed even a minor degree, even tipped in or out slightly, will really take that door and tip it in or out, making it hinge bound or making it spring forward. So that finger helps compensate for that sort of application. This is a easy sort of threshold that you might consider using in an exterior application where you want to transition in a very short sort of fashion without having a significant height issue to walk over, or maybe to take a hand cart over, things of that nature. The dimensional properties of this are 6-inch wide, and that's very common and going to be very compatible with typical hollow metal frame jamb depths of like 5 3/4. It's going to be half-inch overall height. Okay, so the half-inch overall height is something to be considered when choosing this. And then you have down here what's a 1/4 inch between the floor and the top of this base. No, forgive me. Actually, that dimension is not given hard. It's probably closer to 3/16 would be a closer dimension, if even that. Let me give a. The drawing as I study it doesn't show that. Be very helpful to know how high that dimension is. Yeah, it's actually 1/8 of an inch. So you have 1/8 of an inch. Well, it is drawn there, that's for sure. Forgive me, it's a bit small for me to see. It's 1/8 of an inch lip height here. Okay, so then you've got 3/8 from the top of the threshold to where the where the portion would reside underneath the door. Now, if you have a typical hollow metal door, a 1/2 of an inch overall height is probably going to be too short, because hollow metal doors have a typical undercut of 3/4. But it's very likely that you have a condition that your undercut's no longer 3/4 because maybe the flooring condition has changed, or the concrete is not exactly level or flat, or maybe it's higher than it was anticipated originally to be, or you simply have a longer door and you'll never fit something taller underneath there. You need that 1/8 of an inch margin down here and a 1/2 inch overall height to where your door, let's say, is 3/8 of an inch above your concrete. You'd be able to sneak that in there very well and have that work quite effectively for you. Now, this is going to be available in the A finish, which is just mill aluminum. And what we're going to do is pull up the price list to see if it's available in any other finishes. Okay, the 568. Okay, it's only available in mill aluminum finish. That's just the bottom line. So one thing that I like about this threshold, and quite frankly many Zero products, is this groove, this anti-slip grooving that's part of the extrusion on the interior side, or perhaps the exterior side. This makes for a very useful sort of threshold. If this is for an outswing door, quite frankly, I would like to have a door sweep mounted on the exterior. If this is for an in-swing, that would probably work well very well just as this stands. You could simply add you could also add an automatic door bottom to the face of the door to bring the seal point out over here, so that you're not attempting to stop the rain at the face of the door. You're really attempting to stop it, you know, a half of an inch further out, or even greater than that. Like I said, an outswing door, you'll certainly want to add a door sweep out here to help, you know, prevent the point of seal, which is already on the interior of the opening if this is an outswing door, from allowing the weather to get so far into the opening, okay? Now, this threshold is available in a variety of different lengths, naturally. Everything from, well, you can order any length that you really want, but we have it generally in the site from 2 foot to about 8 foot. Those are the sizes that are easy to ship in terms of normal package delivery service. You get into something longer and then it just simply becomes costly to ship, but can be accommodated. This is an ADA compliant threshold, the fact that it's half of an inch overall height, so that makes it compatible in those regards. As well. There is a link below this video to a document called Product Brochure, which is very handy because it will show you the 568A along with their other rabbeted type thresholds or bump up style thresholds. Some of them are a couple of them are quite garden variety. Your typical 7/8 overall height, like the 560A, that's the common one, 5-inch wide. 7/8 overall height with a 1/2 inch door area for your typical 3/4 inch undercut on a hollow metal door. That will also serve as a latch track or a panic style threshold, where the back ridge of that threshold can be used as a strike for the bottom latch, the bottom Pullman latch of a surface vertical rod exit device. But you're going to see, you might notice something if you're not familiar with Zero. You're going to see the idea taken to its nth degree in terms of considering the potential applications. Zero has made a threshold for practically every condition. And especially on page 2, you're going to notice thermal break thresholds in these bump up styles. Bump up styles are generally, again, for exterior doors that swing out. Having a thermal barrier or a thermal break, as it's indicated there, you will see a piece of, you'll see in the cross section of some of the items, for instance, the 526A. It's the same garden variety threshold as the previously mentioned 560A, except this is thermal break. Thermal break works exceptionally well at retarding the transmission of heat or temperature from one side of the door to the other. I have experienced thermal break thresholds and frames firsthand and can tell you the exterior can be iced over cold, and that interior portion is basically room temperature. It's amazing how significant a thermal barrier will work to retard that transmission. They are significantly more expensive, but they are outrageously more effective than the standard threshold. You'll see a reference to a sleeve anchor. You'll see different sorts of items, and keep in mind, you can or Zero can provide custom fabrication services on a lot of this material. You might find it necessary to cut something or to trim something. You can do that, or Zero can as well. The summary of Zero weather stripping is this. If you're not familiar with them, there's a link below this video to the manufacturer's page where you can pull up the full line that we carry in our website, a link to the manufacturer's website. So all the products we sell, a link to the manufacturer's website, along with a link to the full product catalog. I would suggest that you familiarize yourself with the catalog if you have more than an occasional need for weather stripping, because that approach to reconsidering weather stripping and how it's applied runs through the entire line. Translation, you will find some very unique solutions to problems that, in my opinion, other manufacturers simply don't bring to market. The summary of Zero is going to be the deep engineering approach to weather stripping and problem solving, and then the fact that they are the leader in STC control gasketing, sound transmission control. So if you're looking for that, either you live in a condo building and you want to just kind of keep the hall side noise isolated a little bit better, or you have an amateur sound studio, all the way up to professional, high STC rated openings, Zero can help. If you have any questions on the Zero, number 568A, or any other Zero product, please feel free to reach out to us. Thank you.